make a decision. And the second thing I would say, and you gentlemen have heard me say this before, so I'm going to say it again. Once that decision is made, I'll be 100% in support of it. I want you both to know that. I may or may not vote the same way you do. And when I say that, I mean it. I don't know which way it's going to be. But if it votes the other way and it's 2 and I'm the 1, then I give 100% of my energy to that, and I don't question it from that day on. That's the way the commission works. That's why there's 3 of us on that. So I want to say that. There's at least 2 reasons that I'm still wrestling with this. Reason number 1, I would not have been elected to office when I ran in 16, came to office in 2000. I would not have been elected had I stood up before the Christian County Republican Central Committee when they asked me the question, will you ever pass a tax increase without the voters voting? If I would have said, we don't want the people to vote, then you would have had a different Western commissioner. That's a statement that I'm still surprised today to hear. We don't want the people to vote. So that's one of the things I'm wrestling with. If I would not, and I told them that day, I said, I will not vote for a tax increase without a vote of the people. Now I'm being asked to vote for a tax freeze without the vote of the people. I think there could be some danger of someone saying something like this. I do not want you to make any decision without a vote of the people unless the decision you make is for me and my category. So that's one thing I wrestle with. I don't know that that's that you can have it both ways, but that's one thing. The other thing, and the final thing really, I've got my copy of my tax bill. And in my area, I live in Nixa, there are 11 taxing entities. I'm just going to use myself and the county and the Nixa school system. And I want to say publicly and proudly, I am 100% supportive of the Nixa public school system. I'm 100% supportive of Dr. Loden, who stood and shared. What are we saying to people? You're welcome to come here and comment. As long as you don't comment the way we don't want you to, then we're going to talk badly about you and send you back home. No, I'm proud of him. Did he speak differently than somebody else? Certainly. That's why we're different people. But I'm proud of him. I'm proud of the Nixa school system. I went with my wife and family twice to see the Wizard of Oz production because we've got a granddaughter there. And that beautiful and wonderful center there, and I believe that much of civilization and society is enhanced by the arts. I'm a believer in the arts, and I'm thankful. My property value, we've lived for 4 years, and well, it's coming up on 4 years where we live. Our property values have gone up significantly. Why? Because of the school system and because of the people that want to be in the, what is it now, the number 3 in the state and number 1 in all of the region, Nixa School. I'm proud of the school. I'm proud and supportive of the school. I've voted for every bond issue and so forth, and will continue to do so. Now, having said that, I want to say that the county, on my little sheet here, the county gets out of the money that I pay in real estate property taxes, the county gets $17.08 of my tax. Okay. The school district gets $1,726.53. And you say, well, what's that got to do with anything? They get 101% more than the county. From my tax statement, here's what I wrestle with. 3 people who are, I think, maybe the 3rd lowest on this whole sheet of what we get. 3 people that are not affected hardly at all by this, making the decision that affects entities that, in the case of Nixa and me and my bill, 101% more impact. I did my own little calculations, and I've lived in this property I'm in for 4 years, so I did that, and so if this had been passed in 2019, The first 1 year, I would have gotten a $335.64 credit. Next year, $334.34 credit. That was a non-assessment year, Danny, I think. The next year, $390.50 credit. Would I like those credits? Yeah, but I voted for the taxes that I'm paying. Don't miss that. I voted for every tax I'm paying. I voted, and if I didn't vote for it, I still pay the tax because that's the way it works in our system. So in 4 years, I would have saved personally $1,064.45, meaning that in that case, Nixa school system would have missed out on 72.35% of that money. Well, that's just one person. That over 4 years, $1,000. But what if you have 1,000 people or 5,000 people, whatever? I don't want us to feel that the impact will not be there. And sometimes we still hear that with the growth of the county, it's going to be so much that we won't have an impact. Let me ask a question. If the county stops growing, will people say, oh, we're ready to give up our tax freeze? Because now we see that things didn't keep growing. Besides which, why is the county growing? Ozark schools, Nixa schools. And by the way, I think every school district in Christian County is doing a great job. I really do. Many of them being recognized for different things. But the two primary things I wrestle with, you say, do you know then how you're going to vote on that day? I do not. I do not. I mean this from my heart. Because I can argue a case for what these gentlemen are saying as well. On the one hand, on the other hand. I can argue a case why it is better for us to go ahead and do that for the very reasons that our attorney said. That might win the day. I could argue the case in different ways. Today, just because I'm the voice that's speaking on the other hand, I would simply say two reasons. One, I wouldn't vote for a tax increase without the vote of the people. And I struggle with whether I ought to vote for a freeze without the vote of the people. And again, I want to say, if you say, either one of you, if you say, which is perfectly your right, it's our responsibility. According to the Senate Bill 190, it's not just our responsibility. It's either our responsibility or the taxpayers. I mean, the voters' responsibility. Am I right on that, Mr. Pax?
Correct. Yeah, it can be implemented either way.
So I would not want anyone to say, well, you abdicated your responsibility. You're an elected official. There's two ways this could be done. And you can choose either one of those and be honorable. And again, whatever's chosen and decided, you say we need to get along, that's the way we get along. We get along by realizing we live in a republic where we get to vote, a democratic form of government, modified somewhat. And so that's the way it happens. Sometimes you vote and it doesn't happen. That happens many times for me. We wouldn't have recreational marijuana if it had been up to me. But that's, once it's there, and we go ahead and do that. So I wrestle with it because, one, I don't know if 3 people should be making a decision that impacts all of these other people and in some ways impacts all of our people. Do I think that we ought to have tax relief for seniors? I think we ought to have tax relief for everybody, including I've got grown children, one in particular that would be delighted to have some tax relief. So, but I still don't know what I'm going to say, and I thank you for the time that we have, because this is what I wanted to hear from Bradley and hear from them, because they influence me. They really do, and I'm proud of both of them. They're good men, and they have good minds. So share that, and I'll go along. But our county will still be in good shape, because I know the seniors. I are one, and the fact of the matter is we've adjusted a lot of times, so it'll be all right.
I appreciate that, Commissioner Blue. I really genuinely pleased with what you said, but I want to make some comments, okay? First of all, worked with Mr. Fax several times and with several of these gentlemen, except for the commissioners. This is great for you to hear this discussion. The reason why I don't think it's wise to allow the people to vote on this particular issue is because whatever the ballot language, which will be pretty simple because there's only certain things that you can do, whichever way that outcome would be on a vote of the people, it will not ever be changed. You understand? It's virtually impossible to change an election of a ballot. You check with all the cities and counties around, and usually once a issue is voted on by the people, it won't be changed. You've got to go back to the ballot box, go back, get your signatures, try to put something back on and see if you could reverse the decision. What I've heard Mr. Fax say several times is the beauty of having an order, a Christian county order, is that we can change it. We could change it every day if we could meet every day.
Please don't do that.
We can change it. We can make it better. Not just better for seniors, but better for all tax entities, better for the county. We can do that. We can do that. And if we allow it to go to the people, just what Commissioner Jackson said, here's what I fear. I fear us county people, we're not going to have the money. We can't legally campaign for this issue. So we're out of the question. We know a lot of stuff because we've read and studied. We don't know everything yet, but we've studied this issue, okay? But we can't be involved in trying to persuade people how to vote. And neither can the senior citizens persuade people how to vote, although they're the biggest voting bloc in this county. Vote after vote after vote. They know how important it is to vote. However, they don't have the money to pay lobbyists and different people to try to get their side voted on. They don't have the money because they're paying property taxes. I'll tell you how much my property taxes are. My property taxes this year, and I've lived there 24 years, $5,000, it finally got over $5,000, $5,080, okay? Now, listen to me. I bought another place. And I'm selling my house in January, and I'm closing on my house in December. So that $5,080 that would be frozen to me and my wife is not frozen. It's going to go back to the public schools and all the tax entities because I am chose to downsize, okay? And that people that are buying my house are younger than me. So they're going to be paying $5,080, and when it goes up, they're going to be paying $5,400 and on and on and on. They're going to continue to pay that. This study that I looked at just briefly, because I didn't see it till 2:30 yesterday, doesn't have any of that stuff. I don't even know who this guy is. But let me tell you what. There's so many things that we all don't know for sure, but I'm going to continue paying taxes because I'm going to be paying right now $2,830 at the new place. And I'll try to get that frozen, but I'm still going to be a taxpayer until I die. So that's one of the things, you know, and one of the things, and in that study, it doesn't reflect on how many people, how many seniors live in nursing homes, assisted care living, live with their kids, all this stuff. I don't care what the total number of seniors are in this county. That's not the number that we were studying. We were trying to study the number of people who actually live in a homestead that would be qualified to take a tax credit. Okay? So that's why I would not, in this particular thing, I think that you all voted for us. You didn't know what decisions we're going to make. I've got 3 more years as presiding commissioner, then you'll be through with me. Okay? But I'm going to do my best those years to do what I believe that you all wanted me to do. Make a decision. Make a decision. And I'm going to make that decision. And it's no deference in a negative way towards any person out there that wants to vote. You get to vote on all these elections every year. I think this particular case, we need to continue to have the ability to make improvements in this, because this is the hand of cards that was given to us. So that's why I not because I'm better or smarter, but that's the job you gave me, and that's what I think I need to do. But I want to talk about Hosey's tax bill and my tax bill. I want to talk about it. Something that they don't talk about, the opponents to this bill.